where you have said that you support that, which means that if a police officer needs to, a Border Patrol officer needs help, police officers don't go. It also means that if you arrest an illegal immigrant for a crime, he doesn't go.
Okay, Mr. Perez, you have 32 seconds.
What you're referring to was a bill known as H.R. 4437. And I didn't support that bill. The reason why I did not support that bill, H.R. 4437, because it made service providers, doctors, police officers, teachers, and caused them overnight to become Border Patrol agents. That's not their responsibility. What I've heard over the course of time, especially throughout this campaign, is that what they want to do is provide a service. And so I do not support H.R. 4437. That's what you're referring to, Gary.
Okay, maybe this will work. If not, I'll yell. I think it's more important that we hear the candidates tonight, not me. I have one more question here for this portion. Questions from the audience, and I think audience members worked this out very well, if you ask me. This last question goes to Mr. Jeandron. There's been a great deal of negative advertising, again, both of you. Is there anything good you can say about your opponent? Remember, you have a minute.
You know, we are, actually, we knew each other before the campaign. And this is a vigorous campaign. And we both get compassionate. And I know that I get compassionate because we both have these beliefs. And they are different. And at the end of the day, when this is over, we're going to come back and we're still going to be associated together. But this is a campaign on issues, and we drive forward on these issues, and we come forward and we get compassionate on them. And again, I have really worked hard to stay away from character. I didn't go after character. I have tried to stay right on issues. And sometimes those issues are interpreted that they're a hit on character. And all I've just said is inexperienced, he's inconsistent, and I try to get his message forward. But I know you're going to rebut that. So again, I have tried to stay on character, off of character, and on the issues. And again, we're just very passionate on these issues.
You didn't answer the question. Yes. The question was to say something good about your opponent, and you dodged it really hard.
Okay, you guys, hold on to the audience, please. I'll ask the questions. I'll make sure he answers it. He's got another 30 seconds. Go ahead, Mr. Perez.
You know what? I have the utmost respect for Gary. Gary has worked hard in the city of Palm Springs as a police officer, eventually as a police chief, and has done a good job out there. I've been raised in a family where we always give respect to our elders. Always. Hey, that's a positive thing, Gary. That's a positive thing. You know? And so know that I respect you, regardless. And quite frankly, Gary and I sit in a few boards together. And so we were friends before this campaign, and I do believe we'll still be friends after this campaign.
Okay, thank you. You're 30 seconds.
Victor, who brought you on that board? I did. I went out and I got you and I brought you on that board. I think that you're intelligent. I think that you're a good man, and and I respect you as well.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that.
I think that's worth a round of applause. Okay, I don't think we're going to be hugging it out, but that's pretty close. Now we're going to the last round now. And what this is this the lightning round, where each candidate is asked one question, then the next is asked a different question, just like it's going out. Now, we have in the rules, if you guys agree to, that it will be 45 seconds. I hope that you guys don't mind if we make it 1 minute to answer, because I don't know if we can order lunch in 45 seconds. So is 1 minute agreeable?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll do that. All right, Mr. Perez, this question goes to you. What is your position on the Sunrise Power Link, and do you have a route preference?
I think it's a good route. It makes sense. Folks came together beforehand and talked about this issue for a period of years. I think that my understanding around this is at the end of the day, we need to figure out ways as to how we can become energy independent. And ultimately, at the end of the day as well, we have to have these routes in order for other people outside of Imperial County to receive the electricity. Now, renewable energy is the way of the future, but there are some concerns with that. We need to bring in infrastructure. Mesquite Lake, for example, manufacturing enhancement area. We can bring in renewable energy opportunities to Mesquite Lake through the incentives, but the worry is that we don't have infrastructure available, and that's the reason why we don't have people coming in. But to answer your question, I agree with the route.
Just to clarify quickly, if I can, as a moderator here, break the rules. Which route do you prefer, the northern route or the southern route?
The southern route.
Southern, okay, thank you. I just want to clarify that. Okay, Mr. Jeandron, the next question goes to you. Unemployment was something that was mentioned earlier this evening. What are your specific plans to deal with the Imperial Valley's unemployment situation?
It's the business incentive zone. And it's a play off of the current thing that you have is the enterprise zone. An enterprise zone gives tax credits. It gives tax credits over a 5-year period for wages. It also gives incentives for equipment that you may purchase. And there's also a unique part of this that if you loan money into an enterprise zone, it doesn't count as a tax liability, you get a tax credit. What I want to do is take the business incentive zone and expand on that premise that if you expand a business or you come back from out of state back to us, that we will start to mimic what you had back out of state to get people here so that they can put people to work. Again, we put more people to work, we get them off government dependence, and we get more people, the collateral will start to come in. So business incentive zones is the key to putting people to work.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Perez, the next question is to you. Would you support renewable energy projects in the Imperial Valley, and how could you help push those projects forward?
Most definitely. We have a window of opportunity here, and which some folks have taken advantage of, but we need to expand on that. In the summer, you know how hot it gets, up to 120, 115, sometimes 120 degrees. So we can look at solar energy, geothermal energy, we can look at biofuel energy. Now, I also agree with Gary with the business incentive zone, but I also think it's important that we look at the enterprise zones and specifically the manufacturing enhancement area, once again Mesquite Lake, as to how we can design, manufacture, distribute, for example, solar panels. But that needs to be linked to infrastructure, in which you're going to have to have funding from the state level, and as well linked to workforce development, and have the people ready to take on those jobs and have those skill sets ready to go.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure what you just said. That's what you said, switch mics. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, Gary, this next question is to you, Mr. Jeandron. Agriculture is a large part of the Valley's economy. Agriculture is a large part of the Valley's economy. How would you deal with water issues specifically for agriculture, and what is your relationship with farmers, local farmers?
I have an endorsement from the California Farm Bureau, and I have talked with agriculture and talked with farming. As a police officer, I have learned more about farming than I ever thought I would learn being on this campaign trail. One of the things that we have to do is we got to protect the water rights in Imperial. We've got to protect those. My fear is that if we continue with these regulations, if we continue with taxing, and we don't give it a way to get labor back and forth, such as a guest worker program, back and forth to supply agriculture, that they're eventually, what they'll do is they're going to try to sell off water, and then what they're also going to do is they're going to shut down their businesses. We're going to lose our small farms. I have a concern that if we have a concern as a nation that our fuel dependency is outside of this country, what are we going to do when our food is dependent on foreign countries such as China? So I support the agriculture. I believe that, again, it continues to put people to work. And I believe that we need to protect the water rights that we have here in Imperial.